Okay, let's get right to it. Today I'm going to talk about women and in my opinion, just as all these other videos, is just based on my opinion on how I think of it, how I view it. It's not meant to be that's exactly how it is. All right. Now, specifically, I'm going to talk about how the white evangelicals expect that married females, married women that are married to Christian men, white evangelical men, they're supposed to be submissive to the husband. Okay, now what I'm going to do, and I don't mean to bore you, I'm going to read Ephesians 5, starting with verse 21. And right before verse 21, there's a little note. It says, married life of spirit-filled believers as illustrated Christ and the church. Okay, now, save all your responses when it comes to if I worship the devil or disrespect, anything like that. Okay, now, submitting yourselves to one another in the fear of God. Okay, now, what I'm doing is I'm reading from a King James Bible. And like I've said before, the King James Bible was pretty much first written and published, well, not published, but written in around the early 1600s. Okay, now, like I said, this is my opinion. The King James writers, translators, put stuff in there that I believe really wasn't in there in the beginning. Okay, how it's written. Okay, now, submitting yourselves to one another in the fear of God. Okay, my thing is, fear should be taken out. Respect, honor, love, rather than fear. But, for those of you who have done a search on King James, kind of reminds me of somebody who's a world leader today. I'm not going to get into it that much. Wives, submit yourselves unto your own husbands as unto the Lord. Okay, submit yourself to your husband like you would submit to the Lord being Christ. Okay, for the husband is the head of the wife, even as Christ is the head of the church, and he is the Savior of the body. This is my thing. They're talking about Christ is the head. The church is the body, and Christ is going to save the church. Okay, now, like I said, I'm really not here to try and bore you, okay, but for those of you who are really, have a challenge with how white evangelical racists accept this, and embrace it, read the whole from verse 19 to chapter 23. Okay. Also remember, it was written by a king, or edited, however you want to put it, where he could have complete control of the people who read this. Okay. So my opinion is this. Okay. Wives, submit yourselves, body, soul, whatever, to your husband, as long as your husband pretty much treats you like Christ would treat the church. Okay? If your husband's a stuck-up dick, no. If your husband is very condescending, talks down to you, keeps you down, prevents you from, I don't know, laughing, hanging out with your friends, okay? This whole thing, when I first read it, when I very first read it, I took it as what this really was and is Christ telling guys, hey, look, being married and being the head of household is very important. It's a very big deal. You shouldn't treat people as your subject. You should treat people as Christ treated people, as Christ treated you. Now, enough of that, okay? Who gave birth to Christ? Well, it's the Virgin Mary, the Blessed Virgin Mary. How many times, how many verses, how many sentences, how often did it show her husband in this Bible? How many times did it show her husband telling the mother that gave birth to Christ what to do and how to do it? Nowhere. Okay? But yet, white evangelicals love this verse because it's a control thing. That's all it is. That's all it is. It's an insecure control thing. Okay? I've gotten to heated discussions with other truck drivers or stuff like that who claim that they know the Bible. Well, you can't just pick and choose one sentence and just stick to that one sentence. There's a lot of guys out, or whatever, idiots that put tattoos on their body of like, I'm a believer. No, you're an idiot. Okay, the body, I'm not going to really get into it now, but if need be, all you have to do is go on a smartphone or any kind, Google it, and it's easy. Where does it say not to mark your body up? Does it say not to adorn jewelry? Does it say the Bible? Does it say this? Does it say that? It answers everything. It's easy. It's so easy to do. Okay. Now, going back to this control thing for women, nowhere does it say you got to sit in the corner and keep your mouth shut and let your husband rule over you. The white supremacist evangelicals hate that when somebody has a rebuttal for that. They're misreading the Bible. Well, no, you're not. You're not misreading the Bible. To this day, women are so pressed down by men who really believe they're so righteous. I don't know. Maybe somebody can answer why that Christian women, young, pregnant mothers that are looking at a abortion to resolve their issue, are Christian. No, I'm not saying that the woman is really, that she's awful for the white Christian woman, or just a Christian woman at that. that they're the ones that are awful. No, they're alone. They're scared. They have no idea what to do. And this is just all my opinion. You know, churches have to stop bringing these women up to the front of the church and what they call either laying their hands on them or praying for them or doing whatever they do, like candles, this and that. That does nothing. Never has and never will. In my opinion, one of the main reasons, and it's not the main reason, but one of the main reasons why women look at an abortion as an option is because they have no resources. Their Christian parents kicked them out of the house. They've got nowhere to go. Now, I've heard this also, by these loving Christians. Well, she should have known better. Well, obviously she didn't. Okay? So, with that being the case, whether she should have known better or not, okay, in my opinion, parents are the ones that wanted to look good in front of everybody else. I mean, I have no daughters. I've never had a daughter. I have no idea what I would do, but I'm sure that I would probably, I'd probably go nuts every time some jackass would just look twice. If I had a daughter, I'd probably go crazy. Now, one of the main things I would do is I would always tell my daughter, you can, and I would show her, you can approach me on any subject. You can talk to me about anything. And I would just tell her, look, I am here to protect you, and love you, and care for you, and make sure that you're taken care of. Now, I also know that in today's society, it doesn't matter what ethnicity you are, what color you are, but there's a lot of guys out there that, all they want to do is just get the girl pregnant and leave. Now, I said this one time when I was attending a Christian church. Why don't, I said, well, why do you guys try to have a knee-jerk response to this situation? Why don't you guys try and nip it, in the bud? And they're like, well, what do you mean? Well, how come you guys don't have counseling? How come you guys don't have Bible studies? How come you guys don't have preaching when a lot of these boys are preteens? The boy, I've never heard of a lady that wanted to get an abortion because she had an artificial insemination. No. Okay? They got pregnant because a guy, a male, whatever, got them pregnant. Okay? And right away, all this concern, from all the elders of the church will sit there and nail the young girl. They don't go to the boy. They don't try and find him out. They don't go to the parents and say, hey, man, what are you guys going to do? Your son's jobless, so are you guys going to pick up the tab? Really. And don't, God, shut up about being politically incorrect. All right? Just learn, oh, God, please, just do your own investigations on this. Please read that section in the Bible I'm telling you to read. And it is real. It is epidemic. And women need to be treated a hell of a lot more respectful and with compassion than what they're doing now. All right? So, thank you. You guys have a great day.